Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Nick, aka Capers, bringing you some high quality paper content on behalf of Rad Nauseam. Today I have with me Billy, aka Kixian. Hello Billy, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good mate. Ready to bring some high quality content, mate. That's what I'm ready for. Today we have Junk v Lands. This is probably the most interesting matchup we've had on the channel yet. I was piloting Junk for this, and Billy was piloting Lands. How do you feel about the matchup?
Two titans of the format going head to head. What more
Agreed.
could you ask for?
Absolutely. Well, let's not leave our viewers on too much of a cliffhanger. Let's jump into the deck list. We'll start with Junk, just because this is me on the left side of the video. Yeah, what can I say about Junk? It's an Abzan Mavericky mid-range deck that has a bunch of junky, kind of shitty creatures, like creatures like Knight of Autumn, Renegade Rallier, I would argue Skyclave Apparition, maybe other people wouldn't, but it's a lot of junky creatures, and a bunch of creature tutors to kind of give you the ability to answer whatever's on the board. We have a really cool Cloud, Midgar Mercenary, who's replacing the Stoneforge package, and this whole deck is held together by Natural Order and Atraxa. I know, the classic, but yeah, Natural Order and Atraxa is in the deck. It's a really powerful thing to be doing right now. And yeah, has a Guy's Cradle, Skull Clamp, Birthing Pod as well. The Boomers love this deck. It's a good one, and it's really fun to pilot. And now we have the storied Lands. Tell me about it, Billy.
Yeah, this is just my standard Golgari lands list that I've been working on for a while. You'll note that it's Golgari and not John, despite what people will say. But no, we are sort of a John list at the moment, splashing for Ren and 6 and some sideboard blasts. It's pretty stock lands. You just, lands, land tutors, all the good stuff, crucibles, fast bond. We've got many avenues to attack. Obviously there's lots of different really powerful lands you can put into play. Strip Waste, obviously. Tabernacle can take over games by itself. Sit behind a Maze of Ith and strip all their lands, or obviously make Marit Legion attack, just to kill them in one swing. So lots of different avenues for attack with lands. Fast Bond combo with Zuranorb, Fast Bond, and a Crucible. Obviously, combo gives you infinite life and infinite mana. Take all their lands with Strip Mine. Normally have a way to win as well with a Surveil land. Put your entire deck in the bin and go from there. And then just some sort of, similar creatures to, I guess, what people would call shitty creatures, but mostly the ones that are focused on, generating value through lands or tutoring lands onto the battlefield.
Yeah, this is a sweet deck. I've fought it many, many times at many different stores, and yeah, I fear it every day, so cool list. I'm very excited to see how it goes. Let's jump into the gameplay. Alrighty, here we go. Junk v Lands.
Yeah, this should be a good one. This was recorded at POG, I think about 2 weeks ago now. The menace that is lands went 3-1, I think. So we'll see if Junk was the deck that was able to take it down.
Ripping off to a very quick start. Inquisition of Kozilek into a misstep. Are we gonna?
Immediately getting misstepped, and I'm just considering whether I want to misstep back, which I do.
Both of us paying the point.
We're taking a look here at the hand. Looks like you've got a Mana Dork, a Grist, and an Atraxa, and I'm obviously going for the Grist here.
Agreed. How have you been finding mental misstep?
Yeah, I think it's worth the point in lands. If you can strip someone early and then misstep their first play, that's a very powerful play pattern. Unfortunately, wasn't really accounting for you ripping your own Inquisition off the top here.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got no more missteps, so I'll take a look. Yep, give me that Elvish Reclaimer.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious you were going to take the Elvish Reclaimer there, so I was already moving it to the graveyard, I think, as I was reeling my hand. So just leaving me with the 2 lands there and a nice till. Can't remember what I drew here, but obviously having a little bit of a think. Just playing the Talon Gates, phasing out nothing and passing the turn.
Nice Urza Saga Japanese Forest. Yeah, Ignoble Hierarch. So, how do you feel about the Junk v Lands matchup in general? We spoke about the fact that my deck is quite, with Strip Mine and Wasteland in my deck, it can actually be quite good into lands sometimes because I'm able to snag those important lands that you need. How do you feel about the matchup overall?
It's not one that I have really any experience playing because we don't really see a lot of Junk. And I think going into these games, I don't know whether I knew that you had Strip Mine and Wasteland in your deck, yep. which can make it difficult. I did keep a hand here with no green source, which is definitely not advisable. But I did have the Talon Gates, so the Talon Gates can filter for mana.
Yep.
And the Thespian Stage, we can also copy a forest, which I believe does come up. So I'm sort of 1 turn behind on the green source there, which sort of has put me a bit behind.
Getting in there as well. We have a life counter coming in. Double Hierarch.
getting in for that 1 damage.
Absolutely. Me. An Arbor
Yeah,
Elf.
so we've got the Arbor Elf, which can attack for a mighty 2 with the Exalted trigger next turn.
Yeah, that is why it's in the deck. And I've
So yeah, we've just getting the life turtles there. 17 plays 18, and looks like I am using the Thespian stage to copy the forest.
So this will get you the green source, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I already have it, I guess, with the Talon Gates, but you have to put a mana in to filter through the Talon Gates. So this gives me just like a, an unfiltered green source. Looks like I've drawn a Renin 6, which, having the green now off the Thespian stage allows me to filter for red with the Talon Gate. So I'm able to cast that Renin 6, which I believe I am about to.
Really good into dorks, just a little bit late, I guess.
Yeah, so still coming down, picking off the Ignoble Hierarch there.
Imagine this is a very luscious portico coming down for a Surveil for me. Only an Arbor Elf in play, but a lot of mana. I'm slowly approaching Atraxa mana, which is an exciting prospect for me. I do love putting Atraxa into play. Yeah.
Very slowly approaching Atraxa mana here, but yeah.
I don't think, yeah, I think that would be like an achievement unlocked if I could cast Atraxa against a land's opponent. Just with how much you're able to go after my lands. You know? A Cradle off the top, maybe? Oh, thinking about it.
Seen something you like here, I think. Looks like you're keeping.
I think I'm thinking about it. I think this is, yeah. I'm in the tank. And it's a static prison in there. So I could have gotten the Renin 6 off of the board. But instead I've decided not to. And I think I'm going to be rewarded for it. Yeah, I think static prison is really good. But I don't really have a Guide of Souls. I have no way of getting to it. So you're just going to get your Renin 6 back. And this is probably going to be a long game. Well, it is until you rip Natural Order for Arbor Elf. And then...
Yeah, so I think I made this joke at the start of the game. I said, once I saw your hand, I said, you were going to rip the Natural Order and just dumpster me, and you've done that. But unfortunately, the Atraxa is in your hand, so what's the target here?
The Bright Glass Gear Hulk. Now, no combos. There's no Fastborn Zerun Orb shenanigans coming off of this or anything. It is just, funnily enough, what I just said. It's my Guide of Souls and my Ocelot Pride.
Well, you said no combos, though. You've just grabbed a Guide of Souls and an Ocelot Pride.
That's a
which
combo.
Is a combo.
That's a combo. I think I changed my mind, though. I think here... I can see Ice Tills in your hand, and I'm very scared about the Ice Till Strip Waste lock. The ability to just go straight after my lands really fast was really scary, so I opted for Deathrat Shaman. So I'm pretty confident in my ability to... I'm confident with my power and toughness on the board already. 4/4 First Strike Trample's a bit bigger than anything you can put out quickly, so I'm just opting for the Pride and the Deathrat Shaman.
Notably here, I've not drawn a land all game, so I thought I'll draw the green source, it'll be fine. Not only have I not drawn a green source, but I haven't drawn any lands, which is stranding that Ice Till in my hand.
Yeah.
I do have the crop rotation there, so got some thinking to do with the Renin 6 here. I believe I had my lines planned out, and then I drew the Ramanap off the top, and now I've gone into the tank thinking about what I could do with the Ramanap. Obviously, there's no lands in the graveyard at the moment, which is going to cause me to, I think, time walk myself here. We're going to see a pretty big misplay. The line here should be to crop rotation away one of the lands, probably the Talon Gates, and then immediately uptick with Renin 6 to get that land back, play that land for turn. That would allow me to hold up a Marit Lage here if I crop rotate the Talon Gates away for Dark Depths, then play the Talon Gates again, phase out obviously the Bright Glass, but that's not really that relevant. It'll just come back in at the start of your turn. Instead, I've gone in the tank thinking about what I could do with the fresh draw off the top, and I believe, I'm about to just pass the turn holding up the crop rotation, which is not the play here because, as we said, I haven't ripped a land yet. So by sacking the land and rebuying with the Renin 6, obviously just getting that extra bit of value.
Time Walk's a pretty good card. I'm paying 0 points for this walk, so I'm pretty happy about it. And then
So he just saw me say pass the turn, but then also remember, hey, I have a Renin 6, and just upticking that for no value. So a bit of a misplay there.
Yep. I'll take that.
So Renin 6 now getting eaten by the Bright Glass.
Really enjoyed Bright Glass, and as you can see, just...
So I could crop rotate there and put the Marit Lage into play, then trying to block the Bright Glass, but I'm just trying to play... I feel pretty behind here, so I'm trying to play to my outs, and I don't want to expose a potential Marit Lage token to a pending or a sorcery speed answer. But we are seeing here, because I am still sort of lacking with the green sources, that I can't make Marit Lage here in the end step. So definitely a misplay there with the Ren and 6 would have allowed me to make the Marit Lage here. But instead we're just putting the Dark Depths into play.
Still
So not
terrifying.
ideal. Yeah, obviously still threatening a 2020 here, but just not ideal sequencing, obviously sort of costing myself a turn here. But given how behind I feel with the Bright Glass fetching up, the 2 creatures, and obviously having fairly limited resources, having not drawn a land, I am just sort of going for the Hail Mary at this point. So once again, fail to rip the land off the top. My deck does have 26 of them, so at this point I'm feeling a little bit hard done by in terms of probably should have ripped one by now, but that's magic.
Yep. Definitely some mathematician out there that can answer this. Now, right off a Worldly Tutor. Oh, it's gone. Under the table. It's back. Out of my sleeve. Yeah, Worldly Tutor for... Now, there's a lot of choices in this deck, and this was one of the first weeks. I think this was like my 3rd or 4th match on the deck, so there's probably a better Worldly Tutor target than what I chose, but I just decided Endurance was good. I felt like I was ahead in the game, and I felt like just ensuring that you can't ever get back into the game with a Strip Wastelock or attack my lands with something in the graveyard. I felt like Endurance was the right move, but I'm sure there's a creature in my deck that would also be good. Maybe like a Solitude or something could be good, because you're threatening the Marit Lage, but decided
It is
it's...
very hard with these tutor heavy decks to,
Yeah.
there's a lot of lines you can go for. On my side of the field, it's more land tutors. On your side, probably more creature tutors, but there's just a lot of options.
Yeah.
At every point. So you do sometimes have to go in the tank and think, or just fire off the tutor knowing that, there is something, and then just go have a look through your deck and remind yourself what you actually have.
Yeah, and there's this kind of thought in the back of my mind as well is, getting an Endurance, I guess looks a little bit, looks a bit like weakness. I'm putting this reach creature into play.
Yeah, so one unknown from my perspective, I'm looking at your hand here, seeing one unknown, and you've gone for the Endurance, which is making me think probably that the one unknown is not something that can answer Marit Lage. If you've gone for the Endurance, it does sort of, seem like you're representing just a reach creature to block. Although I'm not sure if there's a Solitude in your list. If there is, that probably would be, a fairly clean answer, given that you have this Atraxa that you're not probably casting at any point.
Yeah, I think you committing to the Marit Lage was kind of in my best interest here, so...
Yeah, not something that I would normally, recommend. I think lands decks should have the depth stage in them. It's a very powerful, combination and something you can go for. But I wouldn't recommend really going for it this early in the game. This is more of a desperation move at this point. After the natural order was fired off, and we see there that unknown is the Swords to Plowshares. So I'm going to go to 32, but I'm stuck now with just one land. Still haven't ripped one off the top. Looks like I drew a Dismember for turn.
And I'm now just remembering that I made a cat. My Ocelot Pride. So my hand is now Endurance, Atraxa.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here with a single land in play. And yeah, I've got a Dismember for something, but I mean, at this point, this game looks like a formality, and you're just eating the Dark Depths there to make sure it can't come back.
Yep. Scoop him up. Get him in there, pal. Get him under the deck, and yeah, this is a lot of power and tough. So, Guy's Cradle here would be nice. Past the Atraxa, but yeah, it looks like at this point it's not looking great.
Yeah, so here come the attacks. I'm obviously now at 32 life, but I mean, it's hard to see anything in terms of mounting a comeback at this point. I have the Dismember. I think I go here for the Ocelot Pride. I think I'm counting actually here just to see how far you're off City's Blessing, in terms of the Ocelot Pride starting to just pump out, token after token. And the Bright Glass, I think, at this stage, unless you flicker, it just represents a 4/4. So yeah, I have gone here for which is a testament really to the Ocelot Pride's power. I'm going for the 1-drop here instead of the 4/4 first tracker.
Yep. Yeah, Ocelot Pride's really good and a great reason to be playing Bright Glass. So
once again, not ripping a land.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure where they are in this lands deck. We're not featuring many lands for you, but yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
We have an opposition agent in play, so kind of thought seizing that Green Sun Zenith in your hand out of it, essentially. And also a flash attacker. And a thought seize on top, because why not? So now I have it all
Really, all the riches here for Junk.
Yeah. Classic Junk gameplay.
Just really oppressive. Yeah, just a format scourge.
I take Green Suns in because why not? My opposition agent is in play, but yeah, I'll take
I
the
guess
game.
you're looking here, you know, taking one of the crucibles, there's the redundancy,
Yeah.
and you're probably not really threatened by the ice till and the endurance at this stage. Like Green Suns, if I did manage to answer the opposition agent, maybe represents something, but yeah,
Yeah.
looks like I've just drawn another, probably, given how the game is going, probably another non-land, and yeah, just shuffled it up.
Yeah, Natural Order is a good card. It does the work, so. Game
So a
two.
bit of a better start here for me. It looks like I've got a few more lands in my hand, and I believe I'm fetching and then firing off an exploration here.
Yeah, really good card. Yeah,
So possibly a tell here, fetching the tiger. I don't actually remember. I think it's probably a tell that I do have a red and 6 in hand, because that is the only red card that would be in the deck. I have the sideboard blast, but they're obviously not coming in for junk.
Yeah.
So the fact that I've fetched up a tiger here means we're probably going to see a red and 6 come down soon. But there's the exploration and getting another land drop, shifting woodland.
Yeah. Thing in my hand was I have a static prison, so static prison. There's a guy's cradle in there as well, from my understanding. So I'm gonna go straight for it. And I think seeing a there's also a noble hierarch in there, so the option to get a dork, which is just free food for Ren and 6. So let's see how we go.
Yeah, I think if you recognize that, if you recognize the tiger and the shifting woodland, you know, castable for the red and 6, the fact that I fetched the tiger, not the bayou, I think would probably bring in alarm bells for you that the red and 6 is about to come down.
Yeah, I agree. But in hindsight too, it is, yeah, we are quite clearly showing that it's an X, so even a surveil land's probably a good option here, and just holding up the fetch. But in classic fashion, instead of that, it's going to be a static prison on the exploration. I thought at the time, I've seen exploration do some heinous stuff. I think we had a discussion about this after. I've seen exploration do some heinous stuff with life in the loams and crucible effects of just being able to, you know, double strip or fetch multiple lands. I just thought that maybe it was worth putting under it just to slow you down, but as you can see, it's not going to be able to waste me and then play a Ren and 6 on a completely empty board, which is a really good place to be, and you get the wasteland back. So, yeah, brutal.
Yeah, so red and 6 coming down, like you said, on an empty board, upticking and grabbing the wasteland is, you know, a pretty oppressive place to be. Thankfully for you, you have the forest, but you are still facing down a red and 6.
Yeah.
So the energy counter goes down there, and it looks like you're passing back.
Yeah, and I'm a very dork heavy deck. Obviously, I'm playing dork, so it feels really bad to just kind of play them out into a Ren and 6. Yeah, it's a difficult place to be right now.
So I've ripped a Mox Diamond off the top, just sort of considering my options here. I believe I have a Green Sun Zenith in hand, and we can see a Maze of Ith as well. So probably just thinking about my options. Obviously, the Wasteland is not really a factor on this turn, given that your only land is the forest.
Yeah,
in the tank, because lands is just, you know, very much a deck full of tutors, and so you just have a lot of decisions. You know, what to do, what to tutor for in each spot can cause you to think for a while.
Yeah, I found that too, playing this deck. Green Sun Zenith in itself is just, I mean, drawing it just adds a couple of minutes to your turn alone when you have to think about every creature in your deck, every decision to make with that creature. It can be very difficult. So you've opted for a fetch land over your Azavith, which is seemingly correct considering it won't give you mana, and then...
Yeah, so just shortcutting here, not shuffling my library because I know I'm about to fire off the Green Sun Zenith, so just not shuffled yet, put the Mox Diamond into play, pitch the Maze, and now going to fire this off for 3 and go have a look. I don't think I have a plan here exactly. So as you can see, I'm looking through my deck. I pull out the 6 because 6 on an empty board can get out of hand quite quickly if you're able to get that attack trigger, start returning lands, milling some permanents. That sort of, you know, is a pseudo card draw. And then I've also come across the Grist, which is also quite tempting to put the second Planeswalker into play on an empty board. And I do believe I opt for the grist. You can see me moving it there to the front of the deck. Having another think about the 6, but yeah, deciding on the grist. So 2 planeswalkers on an empty board, and I believe the last card of my hand is a fatal push. So I'm feeling pretty happy about this position.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call the judge for getting a planeswalker from a Green Sun Zenith. But you know, it is. Yeah, this is an envious position to be in. Just you definitely right now you're definitely looking more like a junk deck than a lands deck. Just putting all this random shit onto the board to let you just accrue ridiculous advantage. You also have what is essentially just multiple removal spells on sticks on your board, and then a fatal push in hand. So very difficult for me to keep a creature on the board, which is also a big downside of the Guy's Cradle that's in my hand as well. I can't really play the Cradle out. Playing this Eyebrow knowing that it's just gonna be food. I also have looks like a Noble Hierarch in there and a couple of hands. So I think I'm opting for the double dork. So it's
so really just running out some fodder here.
Yeah.
But it is hard to see what your options are at this point, and it does keep the planeswalkers ticking down instead of ticking up.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it feels quite bad, but it is almost like getting creature on the board and attacking to get that counters down. But yeah, I think in my head right here, I'm hoping that you can let a dork survive, so I can play the Guy's Cradle and then draw a natural order off the top, get a Traxxer and something into play, and then maybe draw enough cards to overwhelm you. But you quite clearly see, and I think you're making the correct decision here of just removing all of my resources from the game.
Yeah, so Wasteland coming down, taking the Bayou. It looks like I fired off the Thoughtseize, and we're going to take the last, I guess, castable, relevant card in your hand. You've got some lands there. And now the only real decision for me is, obviously I'm going to shoot one with Ren and 6. The other option is just whether I want to keep ticking up on the grist, or whether I want to use the grist and save the fatal push. I guess also some consideration to ticking up on the Ren and 6 to get back the Wasteland, just protect that from graveyard hate. But yeah, at this point, just gone for the double activation, shoot both the guys, and pass the turn.
Yeah, gonna get your explosion back as well, which is pretty good with grist. Sorry, with Ren and 6, and I am second lane. Look for a surveil. Yeah, feeling quite bad. Very few permanents on the board. This is quite often the experience you get to play when you play against a lands deck. If they can get in front, it is a very unique. And I think you've just ripped a life from the loam as well. So,
yeah. So all the riches really here. Activating the grist first. Obviously, it's going to mill another card, possibly relevant for life from the loam targets. Ren and 6 going up. And yeah, really just sort of hard to see you digging out of this hole here. Looks like I'm trying to return a Thoughtseize to my hand with Ren and 6, not how it works.
Might be a few more
for the
points.
Wasteland.
Yep. Don't mind if I take these back. You also have Exploration in place, so despite me, saying that I wanted to Static Prison that Exploration, so you couldn't do this, you've just drawn the loam on the turn that you get Exploration back, because why not? So...
Yeah, so now sitting behind a Mazavith as well, just another layer of, protection on the Planeswalkers. Even if you had a haste creature here, they did print that new, two mana, green. Yep. Yeah, 3/2 haster, but with the Maze, even that is sort of not really an out here to get one of the Planeswalkers down.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I think a smarter player might have conceded at this point, but there's still some top decks. If I can get a land or two in play, or a basic, and find a natural something, it's not looking great.
Yeah, so it looks like we've just gone for the Overgrown Tomb, coming in untapped. So it looks like you are going to be casting something.
Rob Alexander signed.
Notably, still able to be wastelanded despite the signature.
Yep, you think it wouldn't, but yeah. Black mana maybe. Be a removal spell.
Yeah, getting one of the Planeswalkers off the field obviously would be, a starting point for being able to climb out of this hole. So we're seeing third land.
Pre-war formal wear. Okay, we're on here, but it's just getting back a single dork. And once again, my thought is, if I can protect this dork in play, obviously you have a grist, but if you let me have this dork, and I can play my Guy's Cradle, start getting in front, or even if the dork lives, I can rip a natural order and maybe this game goes differently. But yeah, that's not going to be the case. You just so far ahead, and I've given you 2 fresh targets for that wasteland as well.
Yeah, really just sort of relying on a massive misplay from me at this point. Which, despite my misplay in the earlier game, I don't think I'm going to make one here. It would be a lot harder to misplay from this position. So sort of just figuring out how I want to win, I guess. I'm, at this point, as a lands player, like I'm having the most fun you can possibly have. I'm firing off Fly from the Loams. I'm upticking Ren and 6s. I'm wastelanding. So I'm pretty happy to play out this game until you want to concede.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I think maybe my only out now would be to try and sneak the Guy's Cradle onto the board. That gotcha mechanic. And you've decided instead to kill my Noble Hierarch. So no amount of cheating can save me here. I have 2 permanents left in play. I have all of my graveyard exiled. I'm gonna pick up my card. Softly let you know that this game's over.
So going to a game 3 here. Gonna see, who's able to come out victorious, junk or lands.
Yep, I can see your hand. Silver Scrying, Tiger, Crop Rotation, Abrupt Decay. Looks like a Talon Gates as well. Maybe Ice Till. Pretty sweet hand.
Yeah, I think just lacking that turn 1 acceleration that you're generally hoping for with lands. There is 5 ways in the deck to get ahead on mana on the turn 1, but lacking one of those. Otherwise, though, as you said, with the Silver Scrying and Crop Rotation, got a lot of options for how I want to play this game. And just starting with the Tiger.
Being able to keep my dork is pretty great. I've just drawn an opposition agent, so it seems to have the mana too, so this could be nice little gotcha.
Yeah, so this was a very interesting position for me. Seeing you look at your hand for the amount of time that you did here, and then ultimately passing the turn with that mana up is setting off some alarm bells for me.
Yeah, I've been working on my my facial expressions when I have opposition agent up, but very difficult not to kind of just smile at your opponent and just kind of,
It's hard not to get excited, yeah. And I mean, it is really shutting off most of my hand here, so I kept this hand off the strength of a Crop Rotation and a Sylvan Scrying, giving you that flexibility. We can see me tap 2 mana here and almost fire off the Sylvan Scrying before I go, okay, I'm feeling opposition agent here. I'm getting the Soul Read. But unfortunately, knowing about it, it doesn't necessarily allow you to play around it that well. Obviously, firing off the Sylvan Scrying into it would be worse. You would then get to search my library for any land you want, but not casting it as well is a beating. So I have gone here for the Life from the Loam with no target into the graveyard, just because I was thinking of position agent, and there it is.
Dry Loam, it never feels great, but
no. And now the opposition agent, as I said, knowing about it doesn't really help you play around it, because it is now still shutting off those 2 cards in my hand and making this quite a difficult position for me, particularly with this follow-up here of a Keen-Eyed Curator.
Yep, love the Raccoon. I've really been enjoying it in this deck. I know some people like it, some people don't, but for me, my Guy's Cradle deck, I have a lot of mana, and sometimes I can play this card and make it a 7/7 just with a single Cradle tap. So in here, it's been very effective. So now I've been able to shut off your graveyard. I've shut off your ability to search, and not a very good position. But you do have an Abrupt Decay, so.
Yeah, so I am passing with the intent to Abrupt Decay the opposition agent here, but as you said, the Keen-Eyed Curator coming down and eating the Loam means that my Loam on turn 2 was functionally just sort of taking the turn off, and I basically can't progress my game plan until I get rid of this opposition agent, which I'll be aiming to do this turn.
Yeah, I think
Keen-Eyed getting in there for 3.
Yeah, I think it should be 4. I think I missed an Exalted Trigger. But I decided I was a bit worried that you might have your own opposition agent to flash in to kind of, remove mine. So I was kind of just valuing leaving it back just in case you've kept it in, and opting for a Knight of the Reliquary. That's an old one.
Oldie but a goodie. So we do see, the Abrupt Decay fired off here. I did have the Tiger open there, so I guess I could have fired off the Crop Rotation immediately, but possibly I had some sort of master plan, not really sure. I think we are going to see, now that the opposition agent is not on the field, I think we're going to see a Sylvan Scrying here. in the tank once again, because as we said, when your deck is all tutors, you do have to sort of think through and try and plan this out ahead of time. I am feeling, in this position that I am quite behind. So this is the sort of situation where, despite it not really coming off in the first game, Marit Lage is looking kind of tempting because, I am not winning this in terms of a race.
Yeah.
So we are firing off to Sylvan Scrying.
And notably, my Talon Gate is in play with my Knight of the Reliquary, so I can't get that to, to buy me a turn and keep your Marit Lage off the board. So, I'm pretty soft to it. It's a bit worrying for me, but we'll see. So, a Thespian Sage is the choice.
Yeah, so going for the Thespian stage. Looks like I have a Crucible, a Crop Rotation, and my own Talon Gates there, and a Maze of Ith. So having the Talon Gates in hand here with the Crop Rotation is not ideal, because if I did draw the Dark Depths, I would rather have that Talon Gates in my deck so that the Crop Rotation could represent, protecting the Talon Gates. It does put itself into play, but you need 4 mana for that, so not really an option here. I have gone down to 9 with the Keen-Eyed Attack.
Yeah, and sacking off the land here and getting something. I believe I am getting a Strip Mine Fajita.
Yes, this is the reveal to me. I think that you have Strip Mine and Wasteland in your deck, which is not ever what you want to see as a Lance pilot. Part of the strength of the deck is that you're interacting with their lands through your Strip and Waste, and you have your own other powerful lands, such as the Thespian Stage you see on the field, that in most games just go unchecked. Most people aren't going to have too many answers for a land in their main deck, but yeah, we're seeing the Strip Mine here, which is a bit of a sad realization.
Yeah.
I do have the Crop Rotation, so it is an option to Crop Rotate, and I believe that is what I'm going to fire off here.
What's your next choice? Yeah. Know that your Thespian Stage angle's off. Is there a next best land for you?
Can't remember what I went for here, but there is a few options. So with the Dark Depths, if we manage to get that into the graveyard, we could go for a Shifting Woodland line. There is obviously the Tabernacle, which can start taxing your creatures, but I don't have a lot of time here, given that I am at 9. The Maze of Ith in my hand might be able to buy me some time, but without an Exploration effect, I wouldn't be able to. Oh, sorry, no, this is going into play now. So I could get a Tabernacle and then try and sit behind the Maze. I think I am going for, given I have the Crucible in hand, looks like maybe I'm looking at Urza's Saga as well as an option. If I'm able to sit behind the Maze for a few turns, Urza's Saga can pump out some bodies, and also eventually fetch up a Zuran Orb, which would mean that I have the out of ripping a Fast Wand off the top of my deck and completing the combo. So yeah, looks like I've gone for this Saga. Because it's Crop Rotated on your turn, it is now coming in with a counter, which means when I untap, it will be at 2 and able to make bodies immediately.
Yeah, and I think on my side, I'm just deciding how I'm going to go with this Keen-Eyed Curator. I have an instant sorcery land, so the ability to make it a 7/7 if I want. And that's something I'm thinking.
Yeah, so I think I see Hierarch in your hand,
Yeah.
possibly an Atraxa.
I think that's Cloud Midgar Mercenary. I'm going to instead go for working out this mana, right? I'm deciding
I also
between
see a white there.
Yeah,
It looks
it's
like there's a white.
Yeah, considering the white or the knight, I'm unsure I want it to go for, but it'll just be the Noble Hierarch. I think just counting out my mana for Cloud to see if I can maybe play Cloud and then play out the Clamp and draw 4 cards, but it doesn't look like it's going to be... The Cloud does represent just a complete refill on my hand, which is very good into a matchup like this where you're trying to fight me on my resources, so just holding up my mana and yeah, holding up my Keen-Eyed Curator as well. Feeling pretty good about it. I've got 3 Keen-Eyed Curator activations available to me if I want them, so I can just start attacking your graveyard and make it a 7/7, and then you don't really have an option. And then obviously the Maze of Ith makes that a bit harder.
Yeah, so just Maze of Ith go here. I think at this point, given how far behind I am sort of pivoting towards just attempting to survive, wait for this Urza Saga to hit 3, and then hoping to, yeah, grab the Zuranor probably and try and rip Fastball off the top. Just that far behind at this stage that, I think I have to play to my outs, which is the combo win. Can't really see myself getting here in terms of creature for creature at this stage, particularly with my hand. Doesn't look like there's too much there aside from the Crucible.
Yeah. I think we had a small discussion as well about Knight of the Reliquary. It's a little bit different to Knight. Sorry, to White. The White puts it into play tapped, but Knight just puts it into play, which is pretty great.
Yeah, very interesting 2 cards, the White and the Knight, because the Knight puts them into play untapped, as you said, but the White is actually sort of ramping you because you're sacking creatures to get lands instead of sacking lands to get lands. And also the White has Vigilance, so able to attack and also do the sacrifice activation. But obviously playing both in your deck, they're sort of both what you want to be doing.
Firing off a activation into an open opposition agent. I had a feeling if you're going to go after something, I'd rather you go after this. And there is a Gaia's Cradle and a white mana floating. So this is really where the deck starts to take over, because now my mana has just jumped up from 3 lands to 10 mana and slamming the Cloud. This is a cool line, and this is kind of why I was not, I didn't pump my Keynote Curator in the end step. I think I probably should have eaten a land out of your bin, but I kind of decided, instead of getting the 7/7, I'm going to go get a pre-war Form War with my Cloud, which allows me to bring back this opposition agent, which is going to be a little bit problematic for your Urza Saga, which is about to tick to 3. It's not a May. I'm pretty sure you have to search, which lets me yoink your Zuran Orb or your Lava Spur Boots or something nice. So I thought this line was a little bit better, and last turn I was a little bit short on all the white pips, but now I'm not. And both get back my Oppo. Be better too.
Yeah, so this Oppo coming in very strong here, sort of shutting off what is probably my last out in terms of the, aforementioned attempt to assemble the combo. So opposition agent coming in, making it so that I can't tutor, and as you said, as a Saga about to tick up to 3.
Yep. Now, what would make this hand better would be drawing some cards. Cloud can also get a Skull Clamp, but I thought this line was... And I still have some mana floating.
Yeah.
I actually... Do the Skull Clamp? Yeah, of course I did. Why not have it all? So, yep, I'm going to get a quick recharge here.
So sometimes you can have it all. Yeah, or just cheat, just put the Skull Clamp on top of your deck. Even though you're already winning, just cheat and put it on top of your deck.
I did just put it in my graveyard. I think I'll realize that soon, but it just feels
notably
feels
Skull
so
Clamp
good.
does not go to your graveyard.
It just feels so good. I'm drawing 4 cards. In my mind, I'm like, this has to cost me 2, right?
So you can tell Caper's, not used to winning games of Magic, gets really excited here, puts the Skull Clamp in the graveyard.
No.
End step, we're making the construct. There's a Saga going to 3, and I think now I'm having a think about my potential outs. I do have a Talon Gates in hand, which, as we mentioned earlier, you can activate for 4 mana to put it into play. And I think here my thought is I am losing this game. I am 100% losing this game unless I can assemble the Fast Bomb combo. So I have the Crucible in hand as well. Once I get the Zuran Orb, I would just need the Fast Bond. I am going in the tank here, I think, for quite a while, because I'm just thinking through if there is another way to win this game that doesn't involve being able to search off the Urza Saga here. And I think I come to the conclusion that, I really just don't have any other outs that are going to get me here. So I believe we will eventually see the Talon Gates fired off for 4 mana to allow the phasing out of the opposition agent and allow the Urza Saga to go and fetch the Zuran Orb.
Yeah, it's a bit bad, but it is a bit of a time walk as well for me, so...
Yeah, I think, not really the sort of play you want to be making, but at this point, I am thinking this is my only out to win the game. So yeah, you see me phasing out the opposition agent and then going to search on the Urza Saga.
I'm going to think about it. I think it's fine. I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can do. And it's not. Put a nice Rich, you put your Saga into the graveyard, which is a classic land player. Do. I think I even noticed that you do that. So while you're searching, it's still technically in play. I can't eat it with the keen-eyed, but I think I make a joke about it because yeah, we obviously have a laugh about that small interaction a lot.
Notably, yeah, famous Rad Nauseam player Nathan Smale caught cheating trying to eat someone's Urza Saga out of the graveyard while they were still searching. But
Yep, with an exact keen-eyed curator, that was it. It was yep. I mean, the way that we
I think
we talked about it a lot. We
I
do have to cheat to beat lands. So
yeah, I
this
think here I'm tempting you into getting the DQ by attempting to eat the Urza Saga when you actually can't. So I
yeah.
think that's my line here is just try and get Capers to cheat.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe the skull clamp in my graveyard could get me. You might be able to talk the judge into a GIV there.
Yeah, I mean, notably, you can't just put a Skull Clamp into your graveyard because you don't want it anymore. So,
I've already drawn my 4 cards. This game's over. I think I'm going to have that and then one more. So that's going to turn the Curator into a 7/7. I now have a land and enchantment with the Saga. And then I have the Life from the Loam and I'm taking your Crop Rotation. So I have a full-sized Keen-Eyed Curator. I have a big Opposition Agent as well. And even my Knight of the Reliquary is quite large. And I've got a bunch of cards in hand because why not? Yep, feeling pretty good about myself.
yeah, really demonstrating the power of the junk deck. Format Menace. It's been putting up some results at POG recently.
Or has. I'm eating a land here to. I don't remember what I'm supposed to get here, but I'm eating a land for something. It could be a Oh, it could be a strip mine. That's a wasteland. Beautiful. Getting in.
Yeah, I think I was looking away from the table there and come back to find my the wasteland on the Mazavith. Obviously sacking it to the Zuran Orb in response just to gain some life. Like I said, my one out here is to rip Fast Bond off the top of my deck. So if I can survive this turn, rip the Fast Bond off the top of my deck, and then just cast the Fast Bond and the Crucible that's in my hand, then I could win the game. But obviously, drawing a one outer, staring down the barrel of a defeat here.
Yeah, you gotta play the out still. I think I'm just Curator. No opposition agent attack.
No, I believe the opposition agent. Did I just block the upper there, or does it get vigilance?
It has vigilance. Yeah, it has vigilance.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just drawn my card, not found Fast Bond. Looks like I've found a Fatal Push. So Fatal Push can clean up the Keen-Eyed Curator, but hard to see how I'm surviving another turn here. Crucible. I guess we can replay Maze here. So possibly living here for another turn to get another chance at that draw.
I think I'm just activating Cradle and saying, "Yep, sweep him up." I'm putting them all in exile.
Yeah, so this will be with the Crucible on the stack, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
If the Crucible resolves there, I would have priority to play them. So yeah, no doubt with the Crucible on the stack, you've gone for the graveyard sweep.
Yeah, which is what I like about this interaction. These two cards are really good together. I think it kind of pushes Keen-Eyed Curator over the line for me as a main deck.
So interesting misplay there, I guess, from me there, thinking back about it. I should have definitely fired off that Fatal Push on the Keen-Eyed Curator before casting the Crucible. I think at this point, I've probably largely mentally checked out of this game, staring down, this board set that you have, but definitely would have been the line there. We fire off that Fatal Push on the Keen-Eyed Curator, cast the Crucible, play the Mazavith from the graveyard, and hopefully buy yourself one more turn to try and rip that Fast Bond.
Life, I think. I think we have a quick discussion about the way that Zuran Orb works as well. I think whether or not the sacrifice is part of the cost, which would mean that I can actually eat the Telling Gates. I think local judge Cull comes in and provides us with the errata for this.
Yeah, so just one of those old formatted cards where it doesn't say it as part of the cost there, but as you can see, getting handed the updated version.
Well, love your work.
I'm not sure what I'm thinking about here, but yeah, we've put a Dryad Arbor into play, and we're passing the turn.
Yeah.
Just probably just savoring the victory, like just taking as many game actions as you can while you know you've got the game in the bag.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Um,
that is why I decided to play this deck. I do enjoy making game actions, even if they're objectively incorrect, like the skull clamp graveyard. But you know who needs it?
yeah, it is definitely hard to play. These weeklies after a long day, we definitely see a lot of misplays, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, possibly you'll even crack the fetch here just to get some more game actions. Who knows?
Yeah, Renegade Aurelia is in my hand, so the Revolt is something I'm a little bit interested in, and I'm just counting out how big this Knight of the Reliquary is. It's 7/7.
Did count the skull clamp there without even realizing. It looks like we had the misstep as well. So that the misstep comes down, hits the fatal push, and yeah, we see the fist bump. GG's. I flipped the top card just to check whether it was fast bond.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, Misstep, once again, still a really good card at one point. Still highly recommend you playing it in any non-blue deck. It gets people, and it's great inclusion to junk. So just jumping at the end of the video here, guys. I really appreciated the reception that we've received so far with all the high quality paper and roundup content we've gotten so far. So thank you so much for that. And don't forget to give this video a quick like and subscribe to our channel. It does help us a lot. So thank you so much, and we'll see you shortly with another video, I'm sure. So yeah, have a great day.